Good morning and a very warm welcome to all our respected dignitaries, eminent speakers, academicians, researchers, faculty members, students, and participants joining us from different parts of India and across the globe. On behalf of Arka Jain University, Jharkhand, and our esteemed academic partner, BrightHawk InfoTech Solutions Private Limited, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this international webinar on sustainable business practices, global trade, digital transformation, and economic trends. In today's rapidly evolving global landscape, sustainability, digital innovation, and interdisciplinary thinking are no longer optional. They are essential. This webinar is designed to bring together diverse academic perspectives and practical insights to foster meaningful dialogue and research driven solutions. We are truly honored by our presence and active participation. Now, I would like to invite our first speaker for the day to formally inaugurate the webinar. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Shaheen Fatima, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Arka Jain University, Jharkhand, to deliver the welcome address. Dr. Shaheen Fatima brings with her a strong academic background and a keen interdisciplinary outlook, especially in language studies and contemporary research practices. Ma'am, the virtual dais is yours.
Thank you, Khadija. I take this privilege to introduce to you, to thank first to have an association with BrightHawk, and I formally also introduce my university to you. Arka Jain University is one of the leading state private universities in eastern region of the country and the first state private university in the entire Kolhan region, comprising of three districts: East Singhbhum, West Singhbhum, and Saraikela Kharsawa. The only NAC-A accredited state private university in Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal in the first cycle. AGU has carved a niche for itself. Today, AGU is the fastest growing state private university in the state of Jharkhand. The university was established by Jharkhand State Legislature Act, Arka Jain University Act, in the year 2017. It is recognized by UGC, AICTE, PCI, PCI, ASCO, OCI, INC, and JNRC. Besides, there are so many other statutory bodies and government agencies who have also recognized us. An illustrious 13-year legacy characterizes the success of the university. Prior to becoming a state private university, Jain College provided quality higher education since 2011. Through a gamut of diploma, undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs. The university is part of the illustrious Jain Group Bangalore and mentored by Jain, deemed to be University of Bangalore, a NAC A++ and NIRF Top 100 HGI. AGU is an ISO certified standard EOMS 2101 to 2018 university and is a member of Association of India Association, Indian University Association. Besides, the university has been ranked third in the top 15 emerging private universities in India category in the prestigious Outlook ICARE Top Universities Ranking 2023. And the top university ranking, the state-of-the-art infrastructure facility and incredible placement assistance are a hallmark. With 2,000 plus job offers, 500 plus recruiters till date, and 23 lakhs package, highest package till date. Our rich and thriving campus life and engagement of the various stakeholders through community extension initiatives and carried out by AGU, NCC, NSS, and Rotaract clubs makes a unique place of experiential learning. Personality development of the university, of the students, along with sound communication skill, is equally taking care of students. Besides, AGU Toastmasters International Chapter and Cambridge Communicating App, respectively, region of the country and the first state private university in the entire Golhan region of comprising of all three districts. And this is a short introduction of Arka Jain University. I am thankful to the BrightHawk for having collaboration with us and form a webinar on such a evolving topic on sustainability. Indeed, sustainability is one very talked about topic in today's world. If you see sustainability in garments, I have ample opportunity, not just in India, to quote on, but all over the world, where the garment industry, which forms a very basis of the dirt all around, or if you see, even for example, I want to quote a small example from Jharkhand. Here, on drives on Sunday, when there was cleaning of Karkai River, the major part of pollutant what we found was the garments of small babies, the garments of bigger, elderly people, grown up people, everywhere. So it is garments, if you see, which is forming a basis of, of pollutants. So recycling, reusing of these garments, reusing of all the things like plastics and rest electronics, e-waste, which we just throw it out, is not just polluting on the society, but it is all not just having adverse effect on the society, but then the best part is the recycling and reusing, how things which we throw up can be again recycled for a better product, not just in one of a sector of garments or itself. We see we are the first who have come up with tulip, by recycling on tulip, the stem and the leaves, and for which Jharkhand was also awarded. And there's so many other, and because I'm from Jharkhand, I've taken this example of quoting on clothing. However, I feel sustainability is a very talked about topic, not just which is actually holding a very important position, not just India but globally. And I wish luck to all the participants here, to who will be presenting the papers. I'm sure this webinar is going to bring about a lot of awareness and valuable inputs to all those who are participating and all those who are attending it. I also thank Sabah and Zareen ma'am for organizing such a webinar on such a talked about topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shaheen Fatima, ma'am, for your insightful and encouraging welcome address. Your words have beautifully set the tone for today's academic deliberations. Thank you. Moving ahead, it is now my honor to invite the representative of our collaborating organization. I would like to invite Ms. Sabah Sheikh, founder and CEO, BrightHawk InfoTech Solutions Private Limited, Pune, for her welcome address. Ms. Sabah Sheikh is a visionary academic entrepreneur who has been instrumental in promoting digital learning, interdisciplinary research, and global academic collaborations. Ma'am, we look forward to your address.
Yes. Thank you, Khatija, for the introduction. We would like to share our video, a short video of our BrightHawk and what is BrightHawk about and how BrightHawk started. I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I'd like to give a short introduction about BrightHawk. So BrightHawk was started in 2024, and now we have successfully conducted various FDPs and conferences worldwide, not only in India, but we are also connected with international universities, nationally, internationally. We're running the FDPs very successfully. We have done various FDPs, more than 50 FDPs, 10,000 publications, and lots. I would like you to go to the video and the paper and our PDF, through which you can see how many FDPs we have already done and the timings as well.
This video is all about the BrightHawk's activity report. BrightHawk started a year and a half ago before, and since then we have collaborated with 25 plus colleges. We have done 50 plus FDPs. We have done 10 plus conferences, international and national conferences, and we have also done awards, which you would be seeing next. This is the Arka Jain University that we are doing right now, and these are the awards and nominations we have done since 2024. So these are the events that have happened. You can always visit our websites and social media platforms to check how many people we have been acknowledging for their hard work and efforts. BrightHawk is also planning an international conference in Pattaya, Thailand, by the end of this month or probably in mid-Feb. And this is all about our activities. We always focus on empowering education digitally so that we can reach to maximum people as much as we can.
So, thank you, Zareen. So, coming to today's topic, good morning, everyone, respected teachers and dear students. I'm very happy to speak with you on today's topic on sustainable business development and digital transformation. Let's first understand what is sustainable business development. It's mostly using resources wisely into business, learning how the business works in today's generation, protecting nature, including protecting nature, helping people, and growing the economy at the same time. Now, let us understand with digital transformation with sustainable business development. Digital transformation means using technology to make life easier and better in our today, like example, online classes. Online classes, mobile apps, digital payments, smart machines, and the internet has made life today very easy compared to the life which was in like early 20s or in 90s, we can say. We have lots of energies, saving energy with smart systems. We've reduced paper using digital files. We're learning more through online. So we are saving on sustainable things also, as the trees are getting less cut because we are going on online systems. Getting better health care through online services, create new job opportunities. However, we must be also careful. Not we can only say regarding the access to the technologies.
Ma'am, you're mute. Ma'am, you're on mute. Sabha, ma'am, you're on mute.
So, we see our responsibilities are use less energy and water, reduce waste and pollution. Because we are going on online systems, we are getting less in contact with that as well. Recycle and reuse materials, use renewable energies like solar and wind. Now, coming to solar and wind, that is also helping us today, not only using electricity, using water and other part, we are also using solar and wind for electricity and other machinery uses in today's world. There are lots of things that is been recycled, such as papers. First, papers used to be thrown. Now plastic is banned and other things like paper cups and other things is been using. So we are looking for that. Even that is a business if we see from our point of view. Recycling a thing is also a business. We're creating a waste into something productive thing. Economic responsibility, looking for long term profits, not short term gains. If we're looking on short term gains, we are stopping somewhere on long term profits. If you're thinking I'll get money in 1 month or 2 months, what about your long term gain? I've been into business from last 1.5 years. It's not easy to get into business so practically. You have to work. If you're into a business, you are not into a 9 to 5 job. You are into a 24 hours job, if you can say ethically. Practicing on business practices, you have to work 24 hours. So after giving this 24 hours, you have to not think about your short term goals, but also think about your long term goals. When you're thinking about your long term goals, then you can then you can think about the profit. You cannot say, today I'm starting the business, tomorrow I'll get the profit. And if you're losing your hopes there, then you cannot go on a lifetime thing. I've been through this phase, I've been into business, I've left jobs and I've come into this field. So coming in this field is not easy. If you are into business practices, if you want to join business, the only thing is you have to keep patience. Like let's come to the digital part also in this. So digital part in today's world has made very easy for your business practices. Like you can say social media is the biggest platform from where you can start your business. You don't even need that much investment if you want, because of social media today. Working from home also reduces pollution, because you don't use your two wheelers or bicycles. We have got electronic bicycles today, supporting local suppliers, which is beneficial for you as well as the local suppliers there. Saving costs for long terms, build a good brand image. That's very important. Today, BrightHawk Infotech Solution is a brand not only in India but internationally, we can say. So that was not easy for me to make BrightHawk Infotech Solution a brand. You have to keep patience. Gain customers' trust. We've been gaining customers' trust. That's the reason we are here. If you lost the trust, you will not be in this field for a long time. Protecting the environment. So, in this, we are seeing how we can take the sustainable business practice as well as digital transformation together and make it happen, basically. So, sustainable business practices not only help us with company growing responsible, but also create like business for various things like society and the planet. We are saving both at such time. So, thank you so much. I would like Khatija to continue.
Thank you, Ms. Savashik, for your inspiring address and for sharing Bright Talk's vision of empowering education through innovation and global collaboration. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now we move to our first expert session of the day. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our first distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Meenakshi Kaushik. Dr. Meenakshi Kaushik is a professor and academic leader with over 17 years of rich experience in higher education management. She's currently serving as a professor at Lloyd Group of Institutions, Greater Noida, specializing in human resource management and development. She holds a PhD on leadership effectiveness in Women in Business Organizations from Rajasthan University and an MBA with first class honors from CCS Meerut University. She is NET exempted and holds professional certifications from AIMA, NHRD, and SHRM. Dr. Kaushik is a prolific researcher and author with 3 remarkable books to her credit, including Embracing the AI Revolution in the Education Industry and Digital Transformation, Research Trends and Practices. Her research spans AI in education, leadership, and organizational development. She is an internationally acclaimed keynote speaker, having addressed conferences in Turkey, UAE, China, and India, and is a proud recipient of the LREA Award 2024 from the London School of Digital Business. With prior industry exposure at CIPLA and extensive collaboration with multinational organizations, Dr. Kaushik uniquely bridges academia and industry. Today, she will be speaking on the topic AI and Education, Practical Tools for Students, Teachers, Administrators, and Researchers. Ma'am, we are honored to have you over with us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Very good morning to all of you. And thanks a lot, Khadija Sheikh, for, such an elaborated, my purview to the participants and introduction that you talked about. Thank you so much. But before I start my presentation, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks to Sabha ma'am, the chairperson of BrightHawk, and the university that is involved, uh, Arka Jain University, for inviting me all the way on this wonderful platform and to talk on this particular theme. I'm very thankful for this. And let me share the PPT first, and then I'm going to. So my question is that, is my presentation visible to everybody? Is my presentation visible
Yes,
to
ma'am.
all?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am, it
okay,
is.
okay, okay. So thank you once again for this such a wonderful opportunity, and I believe that I have been invited in so many conferences, and here I would like to, as a keynote speaker, as a resource person, and I believe that here on this platform, all the participants are very well versed of the scenario or the something which we are talking on, sustainable development, which is is existing in the prevailing dynamic market. And here all the participants are research scholar and students and faculty fraternity. So my earnest request to all of you that don't take it as a, that I'm just going to give the session and you all are listening. I love interactive sessions always. So if there is any question in your mind, I would request all of you to come up with your questions at the end of the session. So thank you once again. And the topic that I'm going to cover is the AI and education, practical tools for students, teachers, administrators, and researchers. So basically, as the topic says, that I'm going to talk on artificial intelligence. As our Sabha ma'am was just, talking about the digital transformation and about SDG goals, and she gave few examples. So in that, continuance, I'm going to talk on artificial intelligence and its significant role in education. And definitely, when I shall be talking on AI and education, then I would also be giving a lot of insight on the various AI chatbots that are being used by the students, by the teachers, by the administrators, and researcher. Means how this artificial intelligence and AI chatbots are being used by students of all the, whether they are 10th or 12th student, or the, post graduation students, or, research scholar and the faculty fraternity, and also administrative people, how these all AI chatbots are being used in multiple ways. Either it is content creation, or it is, blog writing, or post for, writing on the various social media platforms, how it is being applied by the administrative people in education industry, and not only in education industry but in various other industries, and of course research scholar. Because when we talk something on the education era, it is a very, I'm going to give a very holistic purview that how these AI chatbots and this AI is being applicable in education industry. So okay, so 1 second. Let me, yes, now this is okay. So as we stand at the threshold of a new era in education, the integration of artificial intelligence in teaching, training, and learning represents not just a technological shift, but a fundamental reimagining of how we teach, how we learn, and how we train and how we grow by transforming the educational landscape and offering unprecedented opportunities for personalized and customized learning and instructional support. AI-powered system basically analyze individuals' performance patterns, their learning styles, and pace of progress to create tailored learning pathways that adapt in real time. So here, this slide is talking about that why exactly this AI matters in the education today. The question should be arising in all our mind, whether we are researcher or academician or the student or the administrative people, that why exactly this AI matters in the education industry. Then for students, how it is acting as a learning aid. If I talk about for the teachers, then how come these various AI chatbots are acting as a smarter teaching tools? For administrative people, how these artificial intelligence and the various AI chatbots help in efficient management, whether it is documentation or whether it is the administrative processes and various activities that are being performed at, in the premises or in any industry or in any organization. And then if I talk about for the researcher, then definitely these various AI chatbots are going to they give so many powerful insights to the research scholars. Let me come on to this slide. Then let's have an overview of AI technologies in education. When I'm talking about AI technologies is being applied in education industry means we are talking about four things. What are these four things? Machine learning, predictive analytics, natural language processing, and generative AI. So let me explain that what exactly is the machine learning. When I'm talking about the machine learning, it is definitely used to personalize learning experiences. What is happening? You must be observing this thing that every day, irrespective of any industry or whether it is on individual perspective or from the individual industry perspective, we are coming up with ample number of data, and all these data are being created by us as an individual, as a group, as a team member, as an industry chairman, CEO, whatsoever it is. So all these data are basically processed into useful information and insights. What is happening that there are several kind of data are being generated and created by several kind of sources. Now let's take an example that we as an academy, like for example, let me take example of myself, that I am an academician, I am an author, or I am a researcher. So for example, if I am planning to seek the information about design thinking, so through these AI chatbots, I am going to put forth right kind of prompts. It is also very much essential for all of us that when we plan to utilize all these AI chatbots and artificial intelligence, we need to be very, very efficient and effective in prompt engineering. Because even if we are aware of the AI and various AI chatbots and all that, whether it is ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or Jotero, that I'm going to discuss in later part of my presentation. I'll talk about few AI chatbots and their uses based on your feedback. Let me complete this presentation. So what happens that all these data which are being created or which are being generated, these are properly processed and through the processed through machinery. Through machinery, when I'm talking about, definitely we are talking about the computer or our laptop or our system. And then these data are being processed into useful information, and as per our prompt which we are putting forth in various AI chatbots, we are going to get the information. So data is being integrated into various machine learning. Why this is happening, that through AI chatbots we put some prompt and we get lot of information, because this machine is having lot of immense capability to learn, unlearn, and relearn the things. So basically, this machine learning is used to personalize learning experiences. So whatever the prompts that you are going to pose in all these AI chatbots, accordingly, they are going to give the information as per your need and demands. Then the next part comes is the predictive analytics. When I'm talking about the predictive analytics, as you can see, that predictive analytics, what does it mean? Predictive means through this analytic, we are going to predict something. Like, for example, let's take the COVID scenario, or let's take the market recession scenario. So what happens that all the industries, whatsoever the kind of the industries are existing in the dynamic market, they do the forecasting of forthcoming 4 years, 5 years, or 10 years, which we refer as short-term project, long-term objective, mid-term objective. And based on that, they try to predict something which is coming to in the forthcoming years. And accordingly, they are going to prepare themselves so that they can take the changes and challenges. They can overcome all those changes and challenges which are existing in the dynamic market. So predictive analytics basically identifies student traits and outcomes. Like they are the close observer of the dynamic market, that what exactly is happening in the dynamic market. Like, for example, I, as an academic people, because let's talk about with reference to the education industry, because the university is organizing this program, BrightHawk is organizing, and all the educationists and participants are research scholars. So I'm mainly be focusing on the education industry itself. So for example, let's take the example of the various institutions and universities. They are consistently integrating their courses with the industry. So we more often utilize the term industry academia. What does it mean? That universities are coming up with the courses which are integrated as per the industry needs, because ultimately whatsoever the courses which we are running, whether it is MBA, BBA, BCA, MCA, or professional courses or vocational courses, okay, so we are not supposed to give the conceptual kind of framework to our students. Instead, we have to prepare our students for the sake of their employability. They can attain the good employability. So for this, universities collaborate with the industry, and you know that it depends on the industry to industry policy framework, and they send their students for the project and short-term assignments and all that. What is the need to send our students to accomplish some project, so that they can actually get the practical example, and they can actually prepare themselves as per the industry need, so that they can see that day-to-day activities, whatever is going on in the industry. So conceptual framework, only talking about the conceptual framework is not sufficient. Instead, instilling our students with the help of the live examples, like case study, like role play models, like several other systems are there, AI chatbots. We have to skill our people, our our faculty fraternity, our students with various kinds of AI chatbots, because we are living in the technology world. So why I am elaborating all this with a reference to the predictive analytics, that all the institutions, all the universities are supposed to integrate themselves with the industry, and based on the predictions of the dynamic market, we are supposed to bring forth the, challenges and changes in our course curriculum, in our education system. So AI also helps as a predictive analytics. It identifies students' strengths and overcome and outcomes. So it basically, we try to understand the pattern which is prevailing in the dynamic market, and accordingly we try to prepare our students. And now you know that there are several universities and colleges which are coming up with their customized courses, because now it is gone are those days when students were going ahead for the PhD program and all that, because now students, they hardly have patience and they want to get employability as soon as possible. So it is very essential to understand the students' strengths and their outcomes, and based on that we can come up with our customized courses and we can train them, we can skill them. Then natural language processing, NLP, it enhances the communication and comprehension. Definitely NLP helps in communication, extended communication and comprehension, which is the need of the hour. Otherwise, it is going to create a blockage. Then generative AI creates new content and learning material. When I talk about the generative AI, then how come it is being used? Definitely, as the term is referring, that it through the AI chatbots, it generates many kinds of new contents and learning material from the perspective of the students. Even as a faculty member, they can also create several kind of material, and administrative people or the research scholar, they can use those learning materials as per their need and requirement. Now let me talk about AI for students, that how come it is helping students. Number one, personalized learning platforms. These platforms adapt to individual students' need, providing customized learning experience, as I just talked about. Let's take the example. Several foreign universities like Harvard University, Stanford University, okay, or many institutions in our India, esteemed creamy institutions like premier institutions, IIM, ISB is there, and then many other universities as well. They are coming up with several, customized courses. Why we use this terminology, uses customized? Because these customized learning courses remain self-paced courses. And what happens that, because I just talked about that students want to get employment at a very early stage and they are working. So what happens, these customized courses, they can go through as per in their own comfort zone, and they can learn many things. Like we can take the example of IIM, we can take the example of ISB. They are coming up with several, courses, leadership courses, motivational courses. Like they are coming up with several digital transformation, technology related courses as a customized courses. And several people are enrolling themselves and they are achieving these certification programs or the postgraduate programs through these customized learning experiences, because they feel very comfortable, because they get the time, as and when they get the time, they go through these courses at their own self-paced. Then chatbot as a study buddy. Of course, chatbot is helping as a study buddy. I will talk about it later. Writing and language tool, definitely there are several AI chatbots which are helping you, that aid in writing and grammar. Like I'm talking about the grammar. What happens? Gone are those days when we used to write the articles for months and months. And now through these AI chatbots, you can, take the assistance and you can write a good quality of research paper. But here I would like to tell you that please don't be over reliant on these AI chatbots. These AI chatbots are just as an AI assistive tool. They help you as a supporting role. You are not supposed to be completely over reliant on AI chatbot and you stop using your own wisdom. So this is a human AI collaboration where you have to apply your wisdom in a nice manner, and then you have to use the AI chatbot. Then career and course advising tool. Of course, there are several AI chatbots that help you in your career guidance. If you're there was a time people like us, we hardly used to get guidance from anybody. But now you are so fortunate, you are so privileged that with the help of AI, with the help of your professors, with the help of several career guidance people are there that you can take the assistance of. And through this AI chatbot also, you can write the right kind of prompt. That's what in the very beginning, I told you that prompt engineering is also one of the course, and you need to be very, very perfect in these prompt engineering. The more effective prompt you are going to give these AI chatbot, the more effective responses. So you need to learn prompt engineering very well. Then again, I'm going to talk about AI for students, personalized learning platforms. Like, for example, Khan Academy's AI tutor that provides tailored, by Jews also. That is one of the examples. So that provides tailored educational support. This platform adapts to individual learning style, offering personalized guidance to the students. Like, for example, let's take the example of two students. One student has joined this customized course and he is not a working person, so he is having a lot of ample time to go through these courses, so he can devote more hours to learn these things. But another student is a working professional, so after his working timings from 9 to 5, he will come back and then he will have some time for himself or herself, and then he can devote 2 hours in his studies and all that. So what happens? This is what called as the self-paced learning. Then another example, Duolingo's adaptive exercises enhance language learning. The app modifies exercises based on user performance, making learning more effective and engaging. So what happens that with the help of these artificial intelligence and AI chatbot, you try to, write and execute something in a very effective and efficient manner. Then again, AI chatbot as a study buddy, as I have already talked about. If you will tell me, then I can tell you the chatbot uses, chat GPT uses also, but I will discuss about it in a later stages. AI for students, of course, as I have already talked, that it also helps in your career and course advising tool. Coursera Skill Path offers curated learning paths for the students, helps identify skills needed for a specific career, and suggests relevant courses. Like, you can always ask from these AI chatbot if you are confused regarding joining some course or something, that then by clarifying your doubts via this platform, you can get the right kind of guidance as well. But again, it depends on your right kind of prompts. LinkedIn Learning, you all must be on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn also provides a LinkedIn learning platform, AI-driven course recommendation. It utilizes user interest and career goals to suggest personalized learning resources. Now, again, this slide, as I told you that I will be gradually proceeding further. The first aspect is for students. When I'm talking about the students, it is including research students as well, even people like us as a faculty. So AI writing tools enhance students' writing skill. Of course, something which you are writing on your own and something which you are taking the assistance of AI, definitely it is going to give a very, refined kind of writing. So these tools provide suggestions for grammar, styles, clarity, helping students improve their, essays. Grammarly is one of the AI chatbot that helps in grammar and style checking. That will help you to use the right kind of grammar, because majority times we commit such kind of mistake. Quillbot is there. That is another AI chatbot that helps in paraphrasing and summarization. Language tool checks for grammar and spelling error. Hands-on practice improve learning outcomes. Before and after example illustrate the effectiveness of these tool in essay writing. Something which you are writing manually on your own, and something which is being prepared after giving your right kind of prompts, when you get the any output with the help of the AI, that is definitely going to be very, very effective and away from the biases and mistakes. Automated grading system. Now let's come for the teachers, how this AI is helpful for the teachers. So definitely, when I'm talking about the as a teacher, as an academician, definitely it starts from the very beginning. Let's take the example from the very beginning. Like, for example, as an academic people, what exactly we do? First and foremost, we get the course, that what subject we have to teach. Accordingly, we are going to prepare our study material. So this AI and AI chatbot helps you in preparing your study material related to the subjects. Then definitely this also helps you in your lesson planning. Once the lesson plan is being there, then executing your sessions as well with the help of this AI. What is this? You can see the advancements of technology. There was a time when conferences and seminars and workshops used to happen personally, face to face, in physical setting. But now, can you see, you guys, you people belonging from all areas of India, or maybe some of you must be from abroad country, and we all are together on this platform and we are interacting with each other. Isn't it a wonderful example of the digital transformation? Then it helps in automated grading tools. So these tools helps teachers save time by quickly, instead of investing hours and hours in grading the assignments of the students. Now you can take the help of these automated grading, automating or automated grading tools, and you can give the marks to, you can give the grade to your students. Then content creation tool, definitely, whether it is chat gpt or claude, and several perplexity, jotero, mendelo, I am aware of more than 155 AI chatbots. So this is something which is very elaborative, and since I have got a very confined kind of time period, so some other time if Sabha ma'am will be telling me or requesting me to talk on these AI chatbots in a very elaborative manner, extensive way, then I am going to talk on these AI chatbots and their practical uses for various purposes. Identifying AI risk students. What does it mean? At-risk student. What does it mean? AI can analyze students' data to flag those who may need additional support or intervention. Like, what happens that at times, because this is a self-paced learning or something where you are not, like, for example, the difference when you sit in a physical setting, if you are having any kind of doubt, you can immediately ask from your professor that, professor, I have this problem and you please help me, and you get your problem solution at that point of time period. But when we are doing something via these platforms, so either there is a way that you can talk to, you can come up with your queries on this platform itself, but at times what happens that at the end of the session or some other time you come across with some problem. So definitely this AI chatbot helps in analyzing the doubts and the weaknesses via their assignment grading and through their online, through their, because once the student goes through these course curriculum based on their pace, based on their learning, as an person, I can very easily, as a faculty fraternity, as an academic person, I can very easily assess that what exactly is the student's grasping power, how he is attaining, where exactly he is facing the problem, and accordingly as a professor I can help them resolution of their problem. So AI for teachers, automated grading tools. Automated grading tool streamline the evaluation process for the students. These tools help save time and provide quick feedback to the students. Of course, everything is going to be happen in a very prompt manner. And what are the examples? Like grade scope is there, like jib grade is there. So through these tools you can grade your students. Now AI for teachers, of course, as I told you, that it helps in content creation. Then Canvas Magic Write is there, a AI tool that helps create visually appealing content effortlessly. ChatGPT lesson planner, as I have already talked about it. Quizlet AI flashcard is there. When I'm talking about the Quizlet AI flashcard, how come it is being used? It utilizes AI to create personalized flashcard for effective studying. Hands-on demo. Engage in creation of quiz and lesson plan. My dear fellows, here I wanted to tell you, as I have already talked about, whatsoever kind of information you are seeking from these AI chatbots or from the artificial intelligence, they are going to give the response in the same manner. Then predictive analytics in LMS, like Canva helps identify at-risk student, I have already talked about. Blackboard offers tools for monitoring students' performance. Like what is happening? You must be observing that there are several universities, several colleges, or even it is also being used in the hiring process. Like for example, if I am the owner of the institution or the chairman of the institution, and I plan to hire some faculty fraternity, so what can happen? Or like for example, examination is going on, and online examination is going on. So through these AI chatbots, we can set down the cameras, and while sitting at my place, like I am here right now in Delhi, and you must be living in your own respective domains, respective regions. So if I am going to take the exams of, you are my students, and some course I am going to teach you, so while sitting here, I will set the camera, and that will be observing all your activities, whether you are doing online, whether you are doing on your own, or you are trying to copy from something. So this all, thanks to this AI and AI chatbot, how come it is helping for the students. Now let me discuss about the AI for the administrative people. Definitely data driven decision making, because nowadays we are consistently completely dependent on the data. So this data also, once it is being processed properly and utilized properly, so utilizing analytics to inform a strategic decision and improve outcomes. Process automation, of course, streamlining repetitive administrative. What happens? There was a time that several administrative kind of tasks used to be happen in a repetitive manner. हमको याद ही नहीं रहता है, पता ही नहीं चलता है कि कितनी सारी एक्टिविटीज हमने रिपीटेटिव बेसिस पे कर दी. तो वहां पे ये जो एआई चैटबॉट है, ये हेल्प करता है ऑटोमेशन प्रोसेस में. That what does it mean, automation? It stops the repetition of the activities. It automates the thing, and things start taking in a very systematic manner. Now, a smart scheduling tool employing AI to optimize scheduling and resource allocation. Of course, it helps in that as well. So data-driven decision making, how come it is being useful? Data-driven decision making, use of Power BI dashboard for data insights. So since I'm talking about the AI chatbot, so Power BI is one of them, and these dashboard allows administrators to visualize important metrics and trends. आप लोग देखते होंगे कि there remains a dashboard, and on that dashboard, all the complete information remains there. Your enrollment number, your videos must be there, your responses must be there, everything is going to be there on the dashboard. Incorporation, how much to what extent you have covered the course. So this way, this Power BI dashboard is being used. Incorporation of the Tableau with the predictive models. Tableau helps in analyzing trends and making predictions based on the historical data. Based on the previous data, it tries to analyze enrollment trend. Forecasting as an illustration, illustrating how AI can be used to forecast student enrollment trends effectively. So through these enrollment trend, what does happen? Like for example, in previous 2023 and 24, this much number of students took the admission. Up now, any university or any college is running the course since last so many years. Now the administrative people or the HR people are not going to go through all the registers of previous. So what happens when we maintain the track records on these systems within a mini sec, you get the responses. that last 5 years, how many students have taken the admission, and based on that, you can forecast that in forthcoming year, like in 2026, what shall be the pace of the students in this thing. Now, a smart scheduling tool. Timetable, of course, as a faculty fraternity, with the help of this AI chatbot, we can, create the timetable. Like Timetabler is one of the AI chatbot. Resource optimization software maximize the use of available resources. These applications ensure that facilities and staffs are allocated efficiently based on the demand. Now, let me talk about because there must be some research scholars, so I would love to cover this part as well. That for research scholar, if I talk about, definitely if you are going to write down an article, so definitely when you write an article, definitely it includes several kind of areas, themes and sub-themes, like for example, abstract, like for example, keywords, introduction, literature review, and then discussion, then conclusion, then recommendation, then references, APA style or MLA style, any other style. So these ways, in completion of one article, this AI helps significantly, or it plays a very pivotal role for the research scholar as well. So literature review tools, these tools, of course, for writing any article, you need to write lot of literature. You need to minimum for writing a best paper, at least you need to go through minimum 50 papers, 50 research papers to make a good quality of research paper. So these tools assist researchers in finding, organizing, and analyzing scholarly articles and publications. Data analysis tool, AI-powered tool that help in statistical analysis, data visualization, and interpretation of the research data. So this AI chatbot also helps in data analysis with the use of statistical. You can go through, you can solve with the help of you can conduct the statistical analysis also through this AI chatbot. Writing and summarization, of course, you are giving something, some prompt, you are giving some material to these AI chatbot, and you are giving them prompt that write a good summary for this. Of course, it is going to produce that summary within a mini sec. Research Rabbit helps visualize related research paper. Hands-on show, but Research Rabbit maps related papers. Then connected papers, of course, for exploring paper relationships. Like for example, if you are writing something, so you must be talking about the research gaps as well. So this helps in relating the various research paper. Semantic Scholar, there is one AI tool where you utilize AI to streamline the literature review processes. Then IBM SPSS modeler, you all use SPSS. So in that way, if I talk in perspective of the AI, so IBM SPSS modeler, it is a powerful tool for statistical analysis and data mining. And then Google AutoML, an accessible platform for building custom machine learning models with the minimal coding. If you are a coder, you can generate coding phenomena as well. So whatever you are trying to aspire from these AI chatbot, it helps you in that manner. Orange data mining is there, and an open source data visualization and analysis tool with a user-friendly approach. Then examples of AI tool for summarization research paper. Yes, of course, as I told you, there are several AI chatbots, which it is not possible for me to discuss all the AI chatbots in this session, but if I get a chance to explain in some other session, I will definitely be love to talk about the hands-on practices through these AI chatbots. Now, addressing challenges and ethical issues. Now, this slide is talking about that till so far as we talk that everything has its pros and cons. So the way AI is giving us several advantages, in the same manner, it also has some, negativities as well. Like for example, bias. Like ample data is being integrated through these machine learning and through these AI chatbot. So what happens that it creates a privacy issue, data privacy issue. And so the potential for AI systems to reflect and amplify existing biases impacting educational outcomes. So it creates some kind of biases. Then data privacy is one of the biggest issue. Over reliance on AI. I always, in all my, I think I have been as a keynote speaker in more than 22, 23 international conferences, where I always, even to research scholar as well, I always tell them that please, for God's sake, don't be over reliant on these AI chatbots. Use your wisdom, use your rationality, and then once this human and AI collaboration takes place, where your wisdom as a human being and the accessibility or the output of the AI, it really does, it comes up with the wonderful results. Job fears, of course, majority times people ask me one question, that is the AI going to take our job? So if I will not answer this question, if I will ask this question from your side, then I'm going to answer this query. Then practical hands-on session, definitely it is definitely helpful in practical hands-on session of any kind of problem. Explore the top AI tools available for various educational role. I have already discussed about it. Access a variety of online resources to deepen your understanding of AI in education. Yes, of course, to online platform you can. And conclusion and takeaway, I would say that how these AI chatbots and artificial intelligence is playing a significant role not only in education industry but rather in majority of the industry, and everywhere each one of us is only talking about AI. And I would like to tell you that the way it got prominent in 2025, in forthcoming years as well, in 2026 as well, we are only going to talk about artificial intelligence, and we will come across with several new AI chatbots in forthcoming months and years. So definitely we are blessed to have this technology boom with us, but at the same time we are not to be very over reliant on these AI chatbot. We are supposed to be very much believe in the sense of the values and ethics, and we need to use our rationality, we need to use our wisdom, and this way human AI collaboration takes place. This is my email ID. This is my WhatsApp number. Anybody, if you having any question, you can always connect to me. And now my part is over. And if there is any question from the audience, you can always come up with your question. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, Arka Jain University and respected Sabha ma'am, BrightHawk, for giving me this chance to talk on AI chatbot. Thank you so much. If there is any question, you can raise your question. Is there any question, please? Any question? So I would like to, so from my end, it is over.
Just a moment, ma'am. Participants, do you have any questions, any queries, any feedbacks? We would like for you to participate and you to respond to them, ma'am.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Hello, this is Dr. Syed Mudassar, ma'am.
Okay,
Uh,
sir.
I am teaching to management students. Just wanted to know, is there any AI tool which can assess the descriptive type of answers? Because in our education, descriptive answers are also there. We cannot rely completely on MCQs. So any tool which can assess the descriptive answers.
Yes, of course. Which assess the descriptive answer.
Yes, ma'am. Descriptive 10 marks question like this. Descriptive question.
Yes. Sir, I just talked about two tools. Great Scope is there. You can assess with that also. Even Claude is there. You can assess with that also. And Great Scope is there. You can take the assistance of the Great Scope. You can take the assistance of the Jotero. You can take the assistance of the Claude as well. And through these AI chatbots, you can do the assessment as well.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Does any other participant has any query?
Good morning, ma'am. This is Dr. Ganesh Tiltumde.
Very good morning. Very good morning, sir.
There is no question, ma'am, because so many new things we learned from your presentation and how that AI tool helps us to teach student in a more efficient manner. So I would like to thanks कि अगर आप वो PPT भी हमें शेयर करोगे तो हम लोग हमारे डे टू डे जो रूटीन है उसमें हम लोग इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकेंगे
Dr.
मैम.
Ganesh,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your wonderful words. And I have already mentioned my email ID as well as WhatsApp
Yes, ma'am.
number.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
these AI tools are nothing. I mean, there are several AI tools which are, going to be helpful. So definitely, I will share the PPT with the organizers, and you
Yes, ma'am.
can take from them. And if you have further queries, and if you want to know, or the students want to know more about these AI chatbots, I am always there to help you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
Thank you so much. So
thank
nice
you,
of you.
thank you,
And
thank you.
definitely after using this, we must have some queries. So that time we definitely call you and contact with you as per your convenient time, ma'am. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes, you can contact me, or you can always keep in touch with your professors and BrightHawk,
Yes, ma'am.
and I am always there to help you and support
Yes.
you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Does any other participant has any question?
Participants, please respond. It was a really nice session. I don't think that people won't have any queries or any suggestions, any feedbacks to be speaking about. Please respond. It is not a one-way communication. It is a webinar, a kind of a conference, just online, and we want people to communicate.
And I would, Sabha ma'am, I would also request the participants that while you learned, you listen to me, what all you have felt, either in terms of query or your feedback or anything which you feel like expressing your thoughts, you are all most welcome.
All
And
right.
thank you, Sabha ma'am, for inviting me today. Thank you so much. You are such a wonderful soul, and I would say that I'm connected to Sabha ma'am since last 3 years, I think so, isn't it? So BrightHawk is really a wonderful foundation, wonderful organization, which is really doing such noble and deeds, and consistently organizing FDPs, conferences, seminars, workshops, and tries to develop and come up with new trends and patterns which is prevailing in the dynamic market. And this is really something which is great value addition. So I congratulate BrightHawk and Sabha ma'am as a chairperson, and I wish you all the very best to consistently grow and evolve and help society in growing and getting evolved. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Meenakshi ma'am. Actually, Sabha ma'am is not available here.
Acha.
Thankfully, she would be very happy listening to your kind words. Thank you so much. This is
Kindly convey my words to her, and
obviously, yes.
yes,
Thank you
yes.
so much, ma'am. Khadija, you can go ahead with the thank you note.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Meenakshi Kaushik ma'am, for such an enlightening and practically enriching session. Your insights on AI tools and their applications across education and research have truly added immense value for all our participants. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. So should I leave now?
Yes, we would have a short break as of now. And
Yes, ma'am, you can leave. I know you have sessions further ahead, so you can take a leave now. If you want, we are having a global award session after our webinar, so you can join us then.
Okay, okay. All right, all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
also, we would have a short break as of now, as we have our speaker joining by 12:15. Till then, Zareen ma'am will help us with some informative content.
Give me a minute. I am trying to play the video. Just a moment.
Yes, yes.
Meanwhile, the content is loading. I want to know who all from the participants have arranged papers or have done research, something related to sustainability. I have some ideas and I want someone to respond on it.
Hello, ma'am. My name is Namrata Pawar. Actually, my paper is on sustainable business practices
Okay.
and yes, related presentation as well.
All right. So, has anybody done anything? We have so many problems rising up. As you can see, the AQI of Delhi and even the other cities have been very poor since the volcanic eruption and everything. Has anybody done any research on those topics? It is a very new concept, and people can provide solution, and maybe government will pay for it. Has anybody done anything on that? That kind of solutions? Or if anybody has any opinion on that. Meanwhile, the content is loading. I don't want people to be silent. Let's be engaging. Let's communicate. Even if it's a broken idea or any concept that you can help our country, or in any way you can contribute to the research. I just want to know if anybody has any idea. Okay, I have got a reference video from a professor from IIT Roorkee. Let's have a look at that till our next speaker joins. She will take around 10 minutes. So till then, we'll have a look at this video. I hope that's fine.
Good morning. Welcome to this course on understanding and reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and we will be focusing on scope 1 and scope 2 emissions reduction only, and largely focusing on building design and construction. I am your instructor, Professor Avlokita Agrawal. I am an associate professor at Department of Architecture and Planning, IIT Roorkee. Previously, before this course, we have also, you can go through that course, which is on sustainable architecture. So this was the first part of the course. We are extending it because greenhouse gas emissions have become, they've got a lot of momentum in today's times. Now, to understand what these greenhouse gas emissions are, how to reduce them, and especially focusing on the building design and construction for reducing these scope 1 and 2 emissions, this is what the scope of this course is going to be. In this first introductory lecture, I will take you through the need for understanding something like greenhouse gas emissions and how historically we have come to a point where we are talking about GHG emissions. Before we will move to greenhouse gas emissions and then understanding what is scope 1, 2 and 3, we will be starting with the understanding of sustainability, sustainable development, how historically both these terminologies have evolved, and who have been the people and events which have led us to this point where further to sustainable development and the concept of sustainability, we are talking about greenhouse gas emissions in particular. Now, why at all are we talking about sustainability or a manifestation of it in terms of greenhouse gas emissions? Why at all are we worried, if at all we are? What sustains eventually, and who are we? Very fundamental questions are required to be answered first before we move on to the greenhouse gas emissions and their understanding. Now, very quickly, why are we talking about sustainability so much? You look at anything, we talk of it in terms of sustainability. Sustainable cities, sustainable buildings, sustainable transport, sustainable agriculture, sustainable industries and whatnot. We're talking about everything from the perspective of sustainability. Why at all are we doing that? Now, these images that you see on the screen are the reason why we are talking about sustainability. The world is, especially the environment, is under crisis. It is critical right now. Air that we used to get free to breathe is polluted. We have to invest extra in adding air purifiers in our urban homes. The land is contaminated. The water is contaminated. Literally, all the blessings of the nature are contaminated, polluted today, and we have to put in extra efforts, extra resources to even harness the freely available resources as they were initially. So that is why, and we realize we are at a tipping point. Everybody is talking about climate change and global warming and, change in weather pattern, food insecurities, water insecurities, electricity and energy insecurities. So we understand that there are a lot of problems that we are talking about. Largely, all these problems that I have just mentioned appear to be in the environmental domain. And this is why we are talking about sustainability. While the problems that I've just mentioned, they're not just environmental in nature. They have manifestations in social aspects, they have manifestations on economy, and it is a spiral. It is an interconnected spiral that we are talking about. And so we are talking about sustainability. And this is not new. The discussion on sustainability is not new, is what you will quickly see in the later part of this lecture. Now, why at all are we worried? So there is this polar bear which is standing on a small piece of, cut off piece of glacier. Are you or me or anybody here worried about this polar bear? Are we really concerned that, this polar bear is going to get extinct? Well, not. We are actually worried about ourselves. The second picture. We are worried about how our future generations are going to survive. Am I going to get enough water in the time to come? The air, everything that we've just talked about is a reality. I am worried about my own existence, my own sustenance. And that is why we are, talking so much about all these things. Now, where is the problem? The problem, as has been very aptly put by Ramchand Guha and several other, scientists and leaders and, thinkers, is there are more people producing more, traveling more, consuming more, and excreting more. There is so much of resource consumption and then waste production later, and all of this is together creating havoc on earth, is what we clearly realize. And the effects of these problems? Well, we have traffic congestions. The urban areas are increasing. More and more people are coming into the cities. The traffic is there. There is overcrowding almost everywhere. In all the urban areas, you will find so much of population. Wherever you go, it's full of people. There are hardly any open and green areas in the urban areas, the cities of today. The cities are growing bigger and bigger, and they're eating up on all the green areas that humans need to be healthy, to thrive, to sustain. Overcrowding everywhere, literally. So there is a lot of pressure on infrastructure, on resources. And these are the problems, these are the practical, everyday problems that we are facing, not just in urban areas, the rural areas. The manifestation of similar problems, are in some different forms, but these are the problems. Now, if these are the problems, these are the real issues, what at the end of the day will sustain? Will we sustain as human beings? Are we going to get extinct with all of that happening? Well, something sustains, and what sustains is nature. Nature will take over everything. It is always going to remain at balance. Okay, today we might be thinking that it is, imbalance that has been created in the nature. Yes, it might be, but it will shake itself to come back to a balanced position, and it will surely sustain and thrive. And in the process of that, the weaker links, the unnecessary links, the more inefficient and resource consuming links, they will all be taken away from the system. And that is what nature does. So what sustains? It is the nature. So are we going to sustain? Again, the same question. Are human beings going to sustain? Well, we will, because we are nature. But we will sustain only if we become one with nature. We follow the rules of nature. Quickly, the 4 most important rules of nature is interdependency, efficiency, survival, and change. If we are efficient enough, now when I say efficiency, look at a spider's web, look at a honeybee's nest, and then you will see how efficiently they have used the resources and how efficiently they are putting them to use. Taking least from the nature and producing an equal amount is the efficiency we are talking about. Unfortunately, we are not living our lives like that. We are consuming way more than what we can give back to the nature. And in fact, the resources that we are consuming, we are wasting them. And when we are giving it back to the nature, it is a wasted product. We take fresh water, we give back to the nature sewage. We take in fresh air, we give to the nature polluted air from our industries, from our vehicles, from our buildings, everywhere. And that's what we are doing. This is not efficient. Then we have to be interdependent. We can't think that we are the only ones who are surviving. We are interdependent. The jungles, we depend on them, and the jungles have to be taken care of by us. And it is not just that, almost everything in nature, it is interdependent. That is the fundamental understanding of sustainability. Anything that sustains, it sustains as a system. An individual doesn't sustain. So we have to understand, and we have to be more and more aware that we are interdependent. There are so many other entities which are interrelated. We are interrelated with them. A lot of times, human beings, as all of us, we have started to think that we are supreme. We are above everything. But eventually, and the recent events have very clearly proved that we are not. Nature is the supreme, and all of us have to understand this thing. this interdependency, this requirement for efficiency, and the strength to survive. We have to be strong enough to survive, adaptive enough to survive, adaptive enough to change to the changing environment, to the changing context. So we know how humans have evolved. That was because we were able to change ourselves, we were able to adapt to the changing context, and hence we have survived. If we have to survive further, we have to adapt ourselves even more. We have to change ourselves. That is what will sustain. So, if we follow the rules of nature, we will surely sustain. But if we don't, if we are opposite, if we are doing opposite to what the rules of nature call, then it will be difficult for human beings as a species, as a community, to sustain and to survive. It might become very difficult. Well, with this as a background, that why at all are we talking about sustainability, I will quickly take you through some basic definitions and understanding of sustainability. In this course, we are not really going to talk about sustainability and sustainable development a lot, but this is going to lead us to discussing about the requirement for bringing in place a protocol such as GHG protocol. The why at all GHG protocol came into place, how did it come into place, and what are we doing about it is our ultimate intent of this course. But we have to start with this understanding of sustainability. Very quickly we will look at some definitions and concepts. So, couple of definitions. One of this is given by Thomas Jefferson Sustainability Council, is that sustainability may be described as our responsibility to proceed in a way that will sustain life, that will allow our children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren to live comfortably in a friendly, clean and healthy world. I'll come to another definition. If you look at only the literal meaning of sustainability, as per the Webster's New International Dictionary, it just says sustain is to cause or to continue as in existence or a certain state or in force or intensity, to keep up, especially without interruption, diminution, flagging, etc., or to prolong. Another definition is from Caring for the Earth. It says improving the quality of human life while living within the carrying capacity of supporting ecosystems. I will come to all these definitions, but sustainability is the ultimate goal, and the means to achieve sustainability is sustainable development. They have very similar and sometimes confusing definitions, but sustainable development, as per WBCSD, World Business Council on Sustainable Development, it says sustainable development involves the simultaneous pursuit of economic prosperity, environmental quality and social equity. Companies aiming for sustainability need to perform not against a single financial bottom line, but against the triple bottom line. And the triple bottom line here, what we've been talking is of environment, economy and people, society. So all these three have to be kept in mind while deciding, while aiming for sustainability. The most commonly adopted definition of sustainable development was given in the report Our Common Future. We will come to the historical event when this report Our Common Future was published, but it clearly defined sustainable development as the development that meets the need of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This was given by the Prime Minister of Norway then in 1987, Gro Harlem Brundtland, and the report, the committee was headed by her, and the report that was produced by the committee, that was put forth by the committee, was called Our Common Future, which is where for the first time a common definition of sustainable development was commonly agreed upon. Now, before we go to understand what this Our Common Future clearly mentioned, I will come back to putting all these definitions of sustainability and sustainable development together. Now, what are we really understanding with this term sustainability and sustainable development? Two things which emerge commonly in all the definitions is one, that we have to continue to thrive, continue to remain in a state which is good for everybody. Some people are talking about comfort, some people are talking about the quality of life, living conditions. So we have to continue to maintain that quality of life. And the second part is without depleting or without harming the environment, or rather reducing the access of these resources for our future generations. Now, if we've already talked about the problems, why at all are we talking about sustainability? Do you think the context, the environment in which we are living, not as a natural environment, but in general, everything around us is sustainable? No. And why is that? While we might argue and we might convince ourselves that we are living comfortably, the quality of life is good, but some places the quality of life may be good, but we are putting a lot of pressure on the resources. We are consuming, we are extracting resources at an alarming rate. And our future generations surely are not going to have an access to these resources. You must be reading about reports that, the oil reserves are there, like whatever has been discovered so far, are available only for another 100 years or so. The coal reserves will get finished in another 70 years or so. Do we ever think that what are our future generations going to do? How will they generate electricity? If there is no fuel, how will their vehicles run? How are they going to survive? Think of a day in our life when energy is not there, when there is no energy. And still in a country like ours, India, and across the world largely, the electricity is still being produced through conventional fuel, using conventional fuel like coal and gas. What? In another 100 years, when our great-grandchildren would be living on this earth, they would have literally no conventional fuel available for them to commute. How will they move? How will their homes be heated or cooled? How will the entire life run? We don't think about that. So that is the problem. Our cities are already becoming, water deficient. There is hardly any water in urban areas, a lot of urban areas. On the other hand, every monsoon, some cities would always flood. This is not the quality of life that we are talking about. So in some places, the resources are being consumed at a very fast pace, at an alarming rate. And in some places, the quality of life is not what we really want to have. So sustainable development is where we have the quality of life, there is comfort, there is a good life without compromising on the ability of our future generations to lead the same life. So this is where the whole discussion about sustainability and sustainable development emerged. This is not new. We've been discussing about sustainability and sustainable development for a long time now. In different ways, the issues, the topics have been very, very different, but we have been discussing about them. So for the first time, the world kind of came together and agreed that yes, we need to talk about sustainable development. So far, what we've been doing, that we've been talking about prior to this, we had been talking about, just the environment, or just the economy, or just the society, the lifestyle of people. But for the first time, everybody, a larger part of the world came together and agreed that all these three are somewhere connected, interconnected. So if we really are talking about sustainable development, we can't just be talking about economy. If you remember, after Industrial Revolution, suddenly there was a boost in the economy. But what happened as a result of that? The environment suddenly degraded, very bad. There was a lot of, inequality in the society in terms of their economic prosperity, their quality of life, lifestyle. So there were a lot of problems which emerged, new problems which emerged, while the economy on the whole was doing better probably. So economy was going better, but environment and society, people were not. Now, is that sustainable development? Prior to that, the environment was in good shape, good condition, but the economy wasn't. People did not have good jobs, they did not have enough resources to lead a good life. Even that was not sustainable. So what is sustainable? There had to be some discussion on what is sustainable, what are the parameters which will actually qualify that, okay, this that we are doing is sustainable. That for the first time was discussed in this Brundtland report, or what we know as our common future, and a lot of discussion happened here. So this was actually the basic idea or the key point that was asked to be formulated to this committee was a global agenda for change. The United Nations, the world at large, which is represented by United Nations, and this was the World Commission on Environment and Development, WCED. So there was an urgent call by the General Assembly of United Nations that there is a need for a global agenda for change, how the world should go forward, how should we continue, and that is what this report puts forth. It puts and it proposed long-term environmental strategies for achieving sustainable development by the year 2000 and beyond. This was in 1987 that we are talking about. So at that time there were some 13 odd years left till 2000, and the report clearly mentioned the long-term environmental strategies. It also recommended ways which were concerning for the environment, and the idea was to bring everyone together and kind of develop a cooperation, a greater cooperation amongst the developing countries, developed countries, literally everybody on board. So that is what the idea was, because it is something, sustainable development is something, and as I've already said, that it is not about individuals. It is about everybody coming together. It is about community. It is about societies and people and taking collective action. And that is what was realized. One more thing, very interesting thing, which was realized here was that people are more important than everything else. It doesn't mean that we put environment at risk or we put environment at stake just because people have to be comfortable or people have to be happy. No, that was not the case. But the idea emerged from the previously practiced ways where after industrial revolution, people were put at the back. It was economy, it was more and more of production, it was more and more of resource consumption from the nature, and it was about making more and more money, enhancing, strengthening the economy, and people somewhere were left to the back. Here, once again, it was realized that people have to be brought to the fore. It is people who we are, working for. So people have to be the center of the concern. Of course, along with that, environment and economy both have to come. So broadly, if we look at this our common future, the report, first they identified the successes and failures, what have been the good case studies and not so good ones, what are the crises and how they are interconnected. So water quality depleting in one area is definitely interlinked with weather changes in another area, or food insecurities in another one, or economic prosperity in one region was discussed and found to be interconnected with crisis in another areas. So there was a clear understanding of this interlinked, interlocking crisis that they clearly identified and mentioned, and hence the need for sustainable development. Since it is all interconnected, sustainable development was proposed to be taking care of all of this together: environment,
We have our another speaker, Dr. Simran Kaur, joined with us. Khadija, you can start with the session. And Namrata Pawar, no, you still don't have to join the batch. You will be joining at 1 o'clock. I'll let you know.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Khadija, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You can start with session.
Okay, so it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Simran Preet Kaur, our second distinguished speaker for the day. Dr. Simran Preet Kaur holds a PhD in film studies and has an impressive academic career across prestigious institutions. She has served as assistant professor at Pune College of Arts, Science and Commerce and as visiting faculty at AFMC Pune. Currently, she is an adjunct faculty at the Institute of Management, Technology and Innovation, New Delhi, and a visiting faculty at St. Mira's College, Pune. Her academic expertise spans gender studies, film studies, language, and narratives. She has also served at Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University, Katra, and as an external expert with Cluster University, Jammu, and SMVD College of Narayana, Katra. Beyond academia, Dr. Kaur is a columnist with the Times of India and has several SCI and Scopus indexed publications to her credit. Today, she will be speaking on the topic Multilingual Narratives, Transmutation, and Creativity in Global Communication. Ma'am, we are delighted to have you with us. The session is yours.
Thank you so much, Khadija, for the introduction. And thanks to everyone for being here. You know, when I first saw the theme of this webinar, sustainable business, global trade, digital transformation, economic trends, I had mixed emotions. The title, no doubt, is wonderful, but then it is slightly dangerous for a person, for a literature person like me. You know, because when people hear literature, what comes to their mind is they imagine novels, stories, poetry, drama, maybe libraries, grammar, long sentences, and likewise. But then literature today is almost everywhere. It is in our Instagram stories, it is in your videos, your brand stories, your memes, movies, songs. It is also in the content that you forward, and then you immediately say, oh God, this is so cringe. And that's exactly what I'm going to discuss today. So before I start with my presentation, I would appreciate if some of the participants here can turn on their cameras so that I can, you know, have an interaction with you people, because I like looking at the faces and then interacting. Thank you so much, Namrata. You know, in a globally connected, in a digitally driven world, ideas, they don't travel only as spreadsheets, they travel as stories. Before something becomes a product, before something becomes a trend or something is popular in the market, it becomes a narrative. And those narratives, they are multilingual. They are messy, they are emotional, they are exaggerated, they are constantly changing with the passage of time. And as a literature student, or maybe as a literature scholar rather, I am not here to judge these stories. I am not here to see what is right and wrong. I'm just focusing on one question. What happens to a story when it goes global? So that is the agenda of today's session, today's discussion. What happens when the language changes? When the idea changes or crosses cultures, when it enters digital platforms, and when it meets millions of participants who remix things, who comment on things, who mock things, and who even recreate it. Basically, these stories, they mutate. That is the idea here. Transmutation and creativity. Now, at times stories, they become louder, they become funnier, they become stranger, they are also awkward, but then they are at times brilliant as well. They become visible and they become shareable. That is why we, kind of keep on sharing it with our friends and families. This is very important. It becomes meaningful to new audience. So today I'm going to focus on this multilingual aspect, multilingual narratives as creative transformations. Don't worry, it is not going to be a technical lecture at all, technical lecture on translation, because I can see only one face here and she is clueless. Oh my God, what is going to happen here? I'm just going to talk about stories which almost everyone is familiar with, especially those stories when they start traveling. So I'll start with a very, basic question here. Are you familiar, with these two slides, with these two images which have been displayed on your screen? Yes? Okay, then my purpose is solved. So I'll start with one very simple thought. In a multilingual, globally networked world, stories don't travel unchanged, they mutate. When a story moves from one language to another, focus. The focus is there from one language to another. Spider-Man from global context to a regional context, or from one culture to another, from one medium to another. Something happens. The words, they shift, the meaning changes, emotions also, they get amplified, and sometimes the story becomes deeper. Sometimes it is exaggerated. Sometimes it even becomes a cringe video. But one thing is certain, it never remains the same. That is exactly where we are today. We often think of translation as, what is translation? Okay, word to word replacement, right? This is what we have in our mind. When one word in a language is replaced by a different word in some other language. But then in reality, translation today is far from this word to word, translation. It is more of creative. It is localization, it is adaptation, and it is reimagination. Stories, they are reshaped in such a way that they create new emotions, new cultural expectations. Now, talking about multilingualism, we have global audiences. And global audience, as such, they do not operate on one pure language. There is code switching, right? We keep on changing our languages. There is mixing of languages. There is movement between the registers. So this linguistic hybridity, it allows us to reach wider audience. It transforms how narratives, they sound, they feel, and they function. So from a narratological perspective, from narratology, the transformation affects everything. How the plot is told, the story basically, how it is told, how the characters, they are perceived, whose voice it becomes dominant throughout the entire narration. What about the time, the memory, the perspective? How are they organized? A story which is narrated in one medium or in one language, it will be totally different when it is changed in a different language. Right? Maybe the agenda will be different, the theme will be different, it will convert into a political aspect. So all of this unfolds within the space of global communication. Right? We have entered this digital world, and digital world as such allows our stories to circulate rapidly. As such, everyone is going viral. We are inviting participants. Everything is being remixed, memed for that matter, rewritten. So audience here, we are no longer, earlier we were the passive ones. We are no longer passive receivers. We are actively involved in shaping the meaning of these things. So today I'm going to look at these narratives not as something which is fixed. Narratives here, I mean the stories, the plots, and maybe the videos, the movies. It won't be a fixed thing. It will be a living thing which keeps on changing, which keeps on moving with the passage of time when it moves, when it travels across languages, across cultures, media, across nations. So how this transformation takes place. And as I move forward, I want all of you to think one thing. What a story says is different, but how it changes when it moves. That is something which you need to keep into consideration. So let's begin again with this something which is very familiar. Anyone in this session who would like to speak about the images which are displayed on your screen? Anything about these two images, if you can connect with them, if you have seen them. These two images, they are viral. They are shared again and again. They make us laugh. Anything about these images? Have you seen these characters which are being displayed here?
Yeah, they tell a short funny story about themselves. Like
Okay.
a
So
fun.
first one is Dinchak Puja. Any song you remember, Namrata? Because I can see only you.
Ma'am, long ago I've seen that. I don't remember it.
Okay. What about others? Anyone else in this session who can speak about them? We have mocked them. We have even forwarded them to our friends and relatives. Come on, speak up. No? Are we not living in this digital world? Are we not connected with uh, this digital era which talks about these cringe-worthy videos? Okay, yes or no? Do you recognize them? Apart from Namrata, anyone else in the class? Just raise your hand. I won't ask you to speak. You even know them? Have you ever seen them? Dinchak Puja, selfie maine le liya. Come on. No? You know Spider-Man? Okay, so I'll continue with my session. Since you people have not seen it, I would appreciate if you go and explore it on YouTube. Some of you might have watched these videos, shared them. At least you must have seen them pop up as, memes on your feed, on your Insta feed. So let me ask you something. These videos, they go viral. Why do these videos go viral? They don't have any, something significant, something very important, but they keep on moving from one, audience to the another. They are being circulated, and still we call them cringe, right? Any suggestions? Anything you want to add? Namrata, do you want to say something? Have you seen Selfie Maine Le Liya song or anything of that sort? Huh?
Ma'am, there are two types of publicity, like bad publicity, good publicity. So these
Okay.
come into kind of fun and bad publicity kind of things. So
Okay.
people
So,
are attractive to both the parts.
right. Okay. So we'll look at it from a little different perspective. You know, Here's what I want to suggest. These videos, they are not random accidents. They are not, for that matter, totally bad videos, I will say. They're actually products of global communication system. Spider-Man converting into Desi Spider-Man. What is it? It is a global communication system. A global thing being converted into a regional thing so that people associate with it, right? In today's digital world, stories, languages, sounds, images, they move very fast. They move from one culture to another, from one platform to another. They even change from one time to another. From one century, they move to the next century. So it is more of creativity. Creativity doesn't belong only to polished literature. Creativity is not only about the elite class of the society. Creativity is more about unexpected things. At times, creativity is exaggeration, creativity is remixing, parody, localization. Localization is also creativity. So sometimes things which look awkward or which look absurd, they also work. This is where the idea of multilingualism becomes important. I want you to think about the question which is displayed on your screen. Why do cringe videos, they go viral? These viral videos, if you look at the content which they use, it is not a perfect language, right? Instead, what they do is they mix up things. We see informal expressions. There are simple, very simple, basic sentences. They are being repeated again and again. There are bits of different languages. Local slangs are being used. Familiar cultural references are being used. And strangely enough, that's exactly what connects people. That is what makes them accessible, which makes them familiar. Now, to understand this better, I'll here talk about Michel Bakhtin's idea of heteroglossia. Bakhtin, he tells us that language, it is never pure. It is never a single language. So every time we speak, we use many voices at once. Social voices there, cultural voices there, emotional tone is there, ideological expectations are also there. And likewise, in digital and multilingual spaces, this mix becomes very important. It becomes very visible. That is why it is called cringe content. But still it thrives, right? It is a mix of high culture and low culture. It is a mix of global symbols. They are coming together with the local slangs. Serious ideas are expressed, but then in a very exaggerated and humorous way. I have one image on your screen as well. You must have come across this also. Rasode mein kaun tha, and then it became a very viral song as well. So from a narrative point of view, these texts, what they do is they break the usual storytelling rules. Generally what we do is a story will smoothly flow, है ना, एक rhyme rhythm, अगर poetry होगा rhyme rhythm होगा, or there will be a refined tone, language will be ornamented. But then these stories are a little, at times they are uncomfortable, they are messy, they are baseless. But then this awkwardness is not a failure. What we call awkward here, or what we call, uncomfortable, messy language, what is it? It is a mix of various voices. Many voices, they are speaking at one time. That is what we call linguistic excess, when language is at its peak. So cringe is not a bad language, It is too much of a language, I can say. Right, Namrata? Not a bad thing, but too much of a thing. Overflowing of emotions, crossing boundaries. Refusing to stay neat is what cringe is. And in many ways, it is something which makes our brain work. It is creativity, basically. That is what cringe is, right? Now, in traditional literary world, since I am a literature scholar, I would focus on the literature first. What we see is a very clear structure. We have an author who writes and a reader on the contrary. Now, the role of the author was to provide something important and valuable to the reader. And as such, reader ka what was the role? Just to interpret the text. That's it. Just to read it and understand what the text is about. So meaning was flowing in one direction, from writer towards reader. But now if you see the digital culture, in the current world, this hierarchy which is there, which used to be there between author and the the author and the reader, it no longer exists. I'll take into consideration one very famous theorist, Henry Jenkins. He has put forth this idea of participatory culture. What is participatory culture? The readers, they don't just consume the text, they actively work on the text, right? Think about it. What happens when a video goes viral? If you have not seen those videos, you must have come across other videos, other memes, and likewise. Think about it. These days, such videos, such images, they are remixed. There is a parody at times. They are mocked at. They become memes, right? The original content is replaced into something which is new. Now, in this process, original content was the content of the author. Now, when it is replaced, it becomes the content of the reader. So the audience, they become the co-author of the meaning. So from a narratological perspective, this is very important. The narrative, it does not end when the video ends, right? The narrative starts. It continues through it. There are comments, there are captions. We share with them new interpretations. There are reaction videos and something which we call intersemiotic translation, which moves from one video to maybe another video. There is a text, there is an image, there is a meme. So abhi storytelling, if we see, it is not something complete in today's world. Storytelling kya hai? Something which is open-ended, open to interpretation, something which is unfinished, and which is a collective effort of the author as well as the reader, right? This is exactly where cringe content, it spreads and it survives. That is the reason how, this exaggerated style, this simple structure, the lack of polished or ornamented language, it becomes a room for participation of the audience. So we as audience, we step in, we reinterpret things, we mock things, we remix things, we extend the narrative. Recent example of a song from that movie Dhurandhar, how it got circulated on the moment you open your Instagram, the first thing is you see that video of the song wherein, Akshay is enacting, right? That is again an example of how the reader becomes the author here, right? I'll talk about Dhinchak Puja, but before I step into, this discussion on her, she is often criticized. You watch her videos, she lacks that musical training. There is no lyrical sophistication in her videos. But if we step back and look at her work through the lens of narratology, through the lens of, maybe translation, something interesting emerges. Her songs, they are very simple. There is a repetitive language, a direct first-person narrative voice, familiar backdrop, the urban setting, the everyday setting, cultural references, all these features make her highly localizable. She is easily transferable across different audiences, across various platforms. And in a multilingual society, the society we are living in, India, it is actually an exception. It is not a norm. Most everyday speech, they involve mixing. There is code switching. There is adapting of languages. You will not see one pure language, right? It is a mixing of various languages. Likewise, we have Dhinchak Puja. Her language also reflects this code mixing. She is a reflection of how people actually speak in everyday conversation. It is not an elite culture which she is talking about. Her narrative voice, it is exaggerated, it is performative, it is loud, and she is self-assertive. She is proud of it. And this precisely, this excess of language makes her visible on the digital platforms. You see the number of views. Yes, you see the number of shares she has. What her popularity shows us is something crucial for global communication. Narrative tone matters more than technical refinement. That is why she is being circulated. So in participatory digital cultures, a story does not need perfection. What it needs is open-endedness, right? It should be open to translation. It should be open to mixing and remixing. It should be open to laughter for that matter. And collective meaning making. When I say collective, it is a combination of author as well as the reader. Now, this brings us to an important realization. In a multilingual, globally networked world, the language which she is highlighting, the narrative which she is talking about, it is not a polished narrative, it is a participatory narrative, right? Now, another thing which I would like to discuss here is Desi Spider-Man. Rather, you should watch this song, Spider-Man. You write Desi Spider-Man on YouTube, you will find this song, very funny song. Basically, it's a movie. Now, before I discuss this, I want to talk about Homi Bhabha's concept of hybridity. He was a post-colonial theorist, and Bhabha, he tells us about cultural meaning. The cultural meaning, he says, it is not produced in fixed or pure categories. How is culture produced? It is because of in-betweenness, in-between spaces. When we were living in colonial world, we were under the influence of English language. That was first language, right? Then our own language was the Hindi language. So there was a mixing of English and Hindi, and as such, we entered an in-between space, which Bhabha calls hybrid space. Now we cannot return to our original position, nor we can fully transform into the position of the colonizers, right? So this is a space wherein cultures are mixing, they are meeting each other, right? overlapping is taking place, transformation is taking place. So this idea becomes extremely useful when we try to understand the viral adaptation of this global world. Let's try to understand this with the help of Hindi Spider-Man, or rather Desi Spider-Man song. Spider-Man, you all are aware of. If not the Desi Spider-Man, the actual, the global recognized superhero. ये तो सबको पता होगा. Please raise your hands at least. I want a response, except for Namrata. Others also, give me a hands up. Give me a thumbs up. You know who's this Spider-Man, the global Spider-Man recognizable hero? Yes or no? Come on, we need active participation. You know this global Spider-Man. He belongs to Western popular culture, right? But then if you see the Hindi adaptation, something very interesting happens. Spider-Man, he is transformed into a Bollywood-style romantic hero. He becomes a subject of melodrama, a character who is placed within the Indian setting, familiar Indian, cultural and emotional code. Now the question is, what exactly are we looking at here? This is not an original, the image on your screen is not an original Western Spider-Man. He is not even a pure traditional Indian folklore, reflection or representation. What we see here is what Baba calls hybrid narrative, hybridity, a mix of two things. So he is a product of cultural translation. If we look at it from Baba's perspective, this hybrid form is not a delusion, it's not a mistake. It is a creative representation, a creative negotiation for that matter. So global symbols, they are not merely copied here, they are reshaped to fit the local narrative. In order to be familiar with the local audience. So when we as viewers, some of the viewers, when we label them as cringe, what they are often reacting to is that this is a cultural in-betweenness, right? Cultural in-betweenness between this global icon, which almost everyone knows, and the local, the regional icon, with which some of the audience are familiar. But if we speak about it narratologically, this cringe is actually a strategy. It aligns with a global character and a local mode of expression. You see this video, you will find romance, you will find exaggeration, you will find use of local language, emotions are there, and see the number of views also. So in this context, globalization is not just working against localization, it is working through it. It is a part of it. Right? This is how meaning travels from one end to another. So जब text ये Spider-Man का text है, when it travels from a global context to a local context, it is not a finished product. What is it? It is an open-ended text which must be translated, it must be adapted, it must be hybridized so that it survives amongst the local people. And it is precisely in this hybrid space that, why hybrid? Because it is not fully Western, it is not fully Indian. So it is between this space where this new form of creativity emerges. Right? Okay, let me take into consideration another thing. If you are not familiar with the Spider-Man, this is Spider-Man, or maybe Dhinchak Puja, anyone in this session who's familiar with the adaptations of Shakespearean works, these are the movies which have been displayed on your screen. Macbeth is an adaptation of, Macbeth was adapted into Macbeth in Indian context. Likewise, Othello, which is a tragedy written by Shakespeare, was adapted into Omkara. And we have Heather, transformed or adapted from Hamlet, written by Shakespeare. Have you seen any of these movies? Huh? Except for Namrata. I know, Namrata, you have seen them. I know you can connect with me. I appreciate, I acknowledge. But rest of the participants, come on, speak. Have you seen any of these? Heather, have you seen this movie? I'll talk about it in detail then. So before I talk about these things, no thumbs up, okay? Let me take into consideration. Gayatri Spivak, she was also a post-colonial writer, a feminist writer, and in her work, she asks something which is very relevant. Who gets translated? Who is allowed to speak? Whose voice is amplified? Whose voice is reshaped or maybe erased in this entire process? So Spivak, she's saying that translation is never neutral. Translation, it takes place within the structures of power. When I say structures of power, it will include your cultural aspect, the political aspect, as well as the linguistic aspect. So when a text moves from one context to another, it does not travel alone. It carries histories. There are hierarchies. There are silences within it. That is why adaptations are very important sites of analysis. Let's take into consideration Heather. Heather was a movie by Vishal Bhardwaj. It is an adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet. And Heather is not simply a retelling of Shakespearean text, Shakespeare's play. It is not merely translated into Hindi language. No, it is revoiced. The entire narrative, it shifts fundamentally. I have given some examples. The art of characterization. Hamlet is addressed or is renamed as Heather, and likewise Claudius is Khurram and Ghazala, Gertrude is Ghazala. So from that dilemma of European context, the 16th century locale of Denmark, it is totally transformed into the trauma of Kashmir's Kashmiri youth, someone who's living in a conflicted landscape. Now, through this act of translation, the voices, they are usually pushed to the margin. They are politically, historically, and culturally, they enter the global scenario, the global conversation. That is what Spivak also is trying to highlight, that when we speak about translation, it is a way of representing the voice of subaltern, those who cannot speak, the marginalized voice. So Heather becomes here a very powerful narrative because it talks about narrative transmutation. The basic narrative structure of Hamlet, that remains the same. अगर तुम plot देखो, Hamlet is about a murdered father. His ghost appears in front of the protagonist Hamlet, which talks about an uncle who is Claudius. He betrays Hamlet. And then we have the son who is hesitant, who is in conflict whether to take revenge from Uncle Claudius or not. Basic outline is same. Even in Heather, it is somewhat similar. But there is some significant change. The focalization, it shifts. In Hamlet, the conflict is largely psychological and personal. But when you see Heather, now this personal grief, it becomes a collective grief, a collective suffering. So from individual perspective to a collective perspective. Earlier it was the hesitation of a son that whether I should take revenge from my uncle or not. Now it is more about the entire community choosing ethically in a space which is shaped by political violence. The language, the landscape, the history, everything has changed. If we remake a movie taking into consideration the European context, we as audience won't be able to connect with it, right? Agar hum yehi movie Hamlet, if we change it into a an Indian, if we display it on the screen for the masses, for Indian people, most of the people won't be able to connect with it. That is why everything has changed. The characters, even the backdrop, Kashmir here instead of Denmark. That talks about the entire narrative, the mountains, the snow, the disappearances, all these elements make this text very important. So it is not just about this, it is not just about Hamlet, Shakespeare's Hamlet. It is more about the setting of the Indian setting. Even the soliloquy is translated, to be or not to be. That is a powerful soliloquy in Hamlet. But when it comes to Indian context, there is a transformation. हम हैं कि हम नहीं. अभी अगर हम we as audience watch it, to be or not to be, we won't be able to connect with it. It has a very, it is very significant, but in European context. So there is a linguistic shift here so that we connect with it, right? Now, in Shakespeare, soliloquy or Shakespearean plays, soliloquies, they were generally private, they were inward looking, they were philosophical. But then they belonged to individual consciousness. Likewise, when we talk about Heather, he questions publicly. There is a movement of protest also. Now, the I which is used in Shakespeare, it becomes collective here. Heteroglossia is an action, which I discussed in the very, beginning of this session. Back then, he describes it. The individual voice, it merges with the communal voice. The psychological aspect, it merges with the political expression. Personal aspect merges with the historical aspect. Now, this question, it is no longer only about Hamlet. It is about the entire community. It is about survival. It is about identity. It is about visibility. Right? Another very powerful act in this play is the song Bismil. If you have not seen movie, I am expecting that you must have seen this song. And then the play within the play, the mousetrap. This play within the play, it exposes the guilt of the king. Truth is revealed. Likewise, in Heather also, the entire thing is staged. It is performed in form of this Bismil sequence. There is music, there is dance, there is visual symbolism, there is allegory. अभी अगर हम उसको as play दिखाते ना बेटा, so we won't be able to connect with it. That is why the director uses a song. Performances there. So it becomes an intersemiotic translation, right? So narrative, it moves from these written dialogues towards the audio-visual expression. That is how the narrative, we are able to connect with it. Though the function remains the same. Function is to check whether Claudius, he is the culprit or not. But then it is eventually checked and guilt is exposed. So truth is revealed, it is staged. Now the medium changes. Medium changes to a local narrative, local language, local expectations. So storytelling technique is adapted without losing the cultural, without losing the core, the essence of the text. That is how it functions. Form remains the same, the plot remains the same, the function survives. Even when you look at the ending of this text, when Hamlet ends, in case of Hamlet, everyone dies towards the end. But in case of Heather, it is an open-ended text. Your main protagonist, the protagonist Heather, he walks away into some misty ambience. So there is a reflection, there is a hope. Heather, it refuses to close. Heather refuses to kill in the entire plot. Now, this refusal, it is often misunderstood as weakness. It is not weakness, it is an act of resistance, right? From the context of Indian scenario. So in a context of this prolonged conflict, the revenge is not solution. In Hamlet, revenge was the solution. But in case of Heather, what they have done is they have altered the ending. They have adapted to the current context. That is how Spivak's act of translation, the idea of translation, it works here. The story is not just about adaptation. It is not just about, entertainment. It is more about ethically reoriented, being ethically reoriented. And in doing so, Hamlet, it reflects multilingual perspective, hybrid narrative. How hybrid narratives, they carry meaning. How subaltern histories can be transformed into global circulation, right? So before I wrap up with this session, one thing I would like to focus upon is that even in a world of, spreadsheets, these trade deals, the topic of this webinar, the digital dashboards, stories, they are important. They don't travel in act, they mutate. They pick up the local things, the local flavors, the new voices, the accent for that matter. And yes, sometimes they are little cringe, but cringe in a different perspective. Creativity. That's what makes them alive. So when I say multilingual narrative, I am acknowledging all these stories, that most of these stories which are told today, they are not in one pure language or not one pure cultural code. They are viral videos, even a song, which I just discussed in this session, or maybe a movie, a literary adaptation, a narrative, story. Everything is shaped by mixing of cultures, mixing of languages, multiculturalism, multilingualism. Media plays a very crucial role. Multiple voices, they work here. So language here is not polished, it is not fixed, it is not stable. Language is constantly in motion. And that is how I tried to, fit into the theme of the webinar. A literature person like me amongst all the experts in business and trade. So thank you for letting me wander from literature into your world. I hope I have tried to connect both these aspects. Creativity, whether in literature or in business, it always thrives in hybrid spaces. It is a place where ideas, they meet, they mix, they transform. So while I decode narratives, your strategies, your communications, your innovations, they all tell stories. And sometimes they just need a little literary insight. With this, I wrap up my discussion. Thank you for being patient listeners, especially Namrata. Thank you so much for being cooperative throughout. And yes, the house is open for discussion. If you have any queries, anything, you feel free to speak. Thank you.
Heads and put the focus on the main idea of the essence of everything. May it be a business or a research, everything needs an idea and a clarification of mind through which we need to work, which was seen in your presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Namrata. So do we have any queries? Anything you would like to add to? So I'm hoping after this, once we are done with the session, you will surely watch these videos, if you have not seen them so far. Okay, so I'm done with the presentation. I would like to hand over the session to the, Zareen, please.
Thank you so much, Simran ma'am. Are there no queries, no feedbacks? People, why so silent?
Maybe they have gone to watch these videos.
Please do share the feedback here as well if you're watching.
Okay, I'll just stop sharing my screen in the meantime.
All right, if there's no further suggestion or queries, I would like Khadija to take over for thank you note, and we have to move forward for presentations. So Khadija, you can proceed.
Yes. So thank you so much, Dr. Simran Preet Kaur, for your insightful and intellectual stimulating session. Your perspectives on multilingual narratives and global communications have truly enriched our understanding of language in a digital and interconnected world. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, with this, we come to the conclusion of the expert session for today. We now move on to the paper presentation segment of the webinar. It is my privilege to introduce our esteemed session chairs who will be guiding and evaluating the paper presentation sessions. Dr. Ketan Dahiya Rabadia. Dr. Ketan Dahiya Rabadia holds a PhD and MMS from the University of Mumbai, along with additional qualifications in clinical psychology and statistics. With over 8 years of combined academic and industry experience, he has worked with organizations such as Capgemini and IIFL and served in key academic leadership roles, including placement head, NAAC coordinator, IIC president, and journal editor. He is a recipient of the Maharashtra State Level Best Pedagogy Innovation Award, has 2 published patents and over 50 academic publications, making him a distinguished academic and research mentor. Next, we have Dr. Vritti Parekh. Dr. Vritti Parekh is an accomplished academician with a doctorate in management from the University of Mumbai and over 15 years of teaching experience, complemented by industry exposure in recruitment and training. She is a UGC NET qualifier, a recognized PhD guide, author of 4 books, holder of 5 patents, and has published 27 research papers, currently serving as Associate Professor and Head HR at Aditya Institute of Management Studies and Research. She also plays a pivotal role as IQAC coordinator and ISO, contributing significantly to institutional quality and innovation. Next, we have Dr. Sohail Altaf Pirani. He is a distinguished researcher and statistic expert, a UGC NET JRF All India rank holder with 99.93 percentile and MHSET topper. He has guided NET SET aspirants since 2016, conducted over 100 research methodology sessions, and mentored numerous scholars, now serving as assistant professors. With 100 plus research publications, multiple best paper awards, and editorial roles with international journals, he is currently a visiting faculty at the University of Mumbai, supporting scholars in advanced statistical tools and research analytics. At last, we have Dr. Prapti Anand Naik. Dr. Prapti Anand Naik is an assistant professor at Viva Institute of Management and Research with an interdisciplinary background in human resource management and computer science. She holds a PhD in management along with MMS and BTech degrees and actively contributes to teaching and research in HRM and academic research practices. So we are truly grateful to all our session chairs for their valuable time, expertise, and support in ensuring the academic quality and smooth conduct of the paper presentation sessions. So all registered papers presenters are kindly requested to join their respective batch-wise Zoom presentation rooms as already shared with you through WhatsApp and emails. Each batch has a designated presentation room and participants are requested to join only their allotted batch room, keep their presentations ready, adhere strictly to the time limits, and ensure their name and institutions are correctly displayed on Zoom. Same details will be considered for certificates and awards as well.
The moderators and evaluators are already present in their respective rooms and will guide you further. I will be giving them access to their Zoom presentations one by one. I request all paper presenters to move their assigned presentation rooms now. Participants who are not presenting papers may kindly have a break, and we will reconvene shortly for the Global Award ceremony, probably around 2:10 for the award ceremony and Best Paper Presenter Awards. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and we wish you all presenters the very best of luck. Thank you.